What does the hiring market look like for investment bankers, both on the young end of the curve and also for the experienced bankers?
Sure. So this is an interesting moment in time. I'll look at it on a couple of different levels. First, at just the demand for investment banking jobs, or the supply of people who want to go into investment banking, and I really should separate it. It's not, for us, it's financial advisory. It's not really investment banking, and there's a real differentiation between the two, because you come to Lazard, it's a much different experience than going to a bulge bracket and such. At the analyst level, there's really no difficulty in the United States or globally to find people who want that job. In the US, it's a 2-year job. It's a phenomenal training experience. It's very hard work, but it also is a great credential, and the chances for ongoing employment are extraordinarily high. Sometimes I feel like we're the recruiting arm for hedge funds and PE firms and other technology firms with the analysts and such. At the associate level, it's become more challenging. There are a lot of other opportunities for people to find really rewarding careers comparatively today than there was 10, 20, 30 years ago when it came time to thinking about careers at a business school. So that's become more challenging. That said, we're not hiring hundreds of people as associates, and so we've been able to tailor our recruiting efforts towards people who really want to be at Lazard. And frankly speaking, we're doing a lot to make it more attractive. We're trying to do a lot to make the career path at Lazard more attractive. The real challenge, I think, in the future is going to be partner talent. And this is a really interesting phenomena. And what's happened is that we find ourselves probably with really just Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley today as the only 3 firms that have historically had a real capacity to grow talent and still grow talent from the analyst associate ranks all the way up to partner. Well over 50% of our partnership at Lazard on the investment banking side, if you add asset management, and it gets much, much higher, are people that started their careers here. And that's something which is a real competitive advantage for us, and I suspect for the couple other firms that are able to do that. In the past years, pre-07, there were probably about 8 or 10 firms that did this, and were able to do this on the financial advisory side of the business. And I think the capacity for a lot of these other firms to do it today that we're doing it pre-07 is really much less. They've lost a lot of talent, a lot of generations of talent, and there's been enormous turnover. And this is an apprentice mentor business, and so if you don't have the senior people in place to do it, it's very difficult to grow that talent. And I think the greatest beneficiary of the movement of talent over the last several years from bulge bracket, it's moved either out of the business or to the boutiques. And the boutiques have really benefited from that. Evercore, Centerview, PJT, Moelis have really benefited greatly from the move of senior talent from those firms to the boutiques. And I think the real challenge going forward is, where do you get talent, and can you grow your own talent? And that's something I think we're comfortable with, and it's going to be a real focus of the firm, and has been a real focus of the firm. And I think that's something that the boutiques are going to have to face going forward, is this ability to kind of create their own talent.
That was going to be my next question, actually. How do you carve a space for yourself now that there's been such a proliferation of boutiques and also competing with the bulge brackets on the other end of the curve? How do you compete both on a hiring perspective and in terms of clients?
Well, look, on a hiring perspective, the proposition on the advisory side, and frankly speaking on the asset management side, is pretty simple. We have a singular mission for both sides of the business. We want to be the best. We want to give the best possible financial advice to our clients. That's our mission. That's what we're in business to do, is to provide clients with the best possible financial advice. And then after that, the attraction of being Lazard is where it's a place where the individual can make a difference. You can work on important things, and you're working on something that is, usually the most important thing going on in your client's life. Or at least at that moment in your client's life. That's a very rewarding, very fulfilling type of job if you allow yourself the years to develop at a firm like Lazard. And Lazard's really different from the boutiques. I mean, there are 3 firms today that really are scaled out, compete on intellectual capital, globally. It's Goldman, Morgan Stanley, and Lazard. JP Morgan is the fortress balance sheet of the world. They're going to be as powerful as any of the 3 firms that compete on intellectual capital as a result of the balance sheet, and they have good advice as well. And I think the boutiques are generally speaking today domestic businesses and in the United States. And they're powerful and they're good and they've really developed strong franchises. But what differentiates, I think, Lazard is its ability to do this globally, the ability to do it across industry groups, and to do it, combining the best of the firm in almost every situation, in all the situations where we work with clients. And that's something that takes a long time to develop and is kind of ingrained in the culture of Lazard. And I don't doubt that there's going to be a boutique that breaks out and tries to compete on a global basis and is good global competition. And I'm not going to say names, but I suspect one or two will try to do that, and one or two may succeed in doing that. And frankly speaking, that's fine. Today's environment is far more preferable for us than the one that existed pre-07. Good competition is good for our business. It keeps everybody sharp and on their toes. And I think that we have a healthy respect for other people's franchises.